Ever since the dawn of time, mankind has worn shoes. There's this kind of shoe, and also this kind of shoe, and who could forget this kind of shoe? But what if I told you there's a kind of shoe out there that's not real, like a non-existent shoe or a fake shoe? Pretty scary, right? Well, we decided to go down to LA to a convention dedicated to people who wear shoes, to get to the bottom of the fake shoe epidemic. Do you know if anyone's selling fake shoes around here?
Fico sentado na roda de samba, fico parado, a perna já bamba. Vem samba.
Hope they're not selling fake shoes, man. That'd suck.
Good morning and welcome to Boy Boy. Good morning, says Patricia. Good morning, says Alfonso. This is the start of another beautiful morning in the make-believe kingdom of Asia. Now, every morning, the little children of Asia, they get up and they brush their teeth. Brush, 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 brush. They eat their noodles. Yum, 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 yum. And then 1 in every 5 kids in Asia has the very special job of going down to the factory for a 12-hour shift to make the 16.5 million shoes that are made every single day. Now, what if I told you the make-believe kingdom of Asia is a real place, and you're probably wearing one of those 16.5 million shoes? It's true. If you look down and look at your naked little legs and then pull your pants up and have a little look at your shoes, chances are they were made by a little kid just like Alfonso here. So why do we do that? Why are we making more shoes than anyone could possibly wear? And why do we need child slaves to do it as fast as possible for all eternity? And what does this have to do with fake shoes? Well, to answer that, we've got to tie that up for a moment, take a step back, and look at the riveting history of shoes. Now, ever since the dawn of time, humans have been terrified by their own feet. They're hideous. But for the 530 million years before we resembled Homo sapiens, we actually lived a pretty perfect life. We were immensely proud of our smooth, colourful, and symmetrical lobe fins. Look how happy we were back then. And for comparison, here's a photo of how sad we look now. I mean, it speaks for itself, really. I mean, we drew the short straw of evolution, right? We grew these hideous, gross little patches, like little tufts of hair, kind of like we're just these giant hairless rodents. And then I think the worst trick evolution ever played on us was that they got rid of our fins and they gave us these hideous things. I mean, it's just, I don't know, we just became the laughing stock of the animal kingdom. And this internalized disgust is the reason we became one of the only species to walk upright. So we could get our faces as far away from our feet as physically possible. And when that wasn't enough, we tried to hide them with anything we had on hand. But we solved that problem pretty quickly. We started breeding much more attractive animals, and then we stole their skin and wrapped that around our hideous feet. Now, mankind came up with that idea about 10,000 years ago, and since then, I don't know, we've been pretty sorted for footwear. Shoes are pretty much done, right? We had the option to tick them off the to-do list and, focus on more important things like eradicating poverty or world hunger, but we decided to do capitalism instead, which means we did the opposite, right? We harnessed the power of poverty to have slaves make millions of different kinds of shoes every single day for the rest of eternity. Honestly, it makes me embarrassed to be a human being. Our greed is just disgusting. It's worse than how disgusting our feet are. It's just pathetic, really. I can't even imagine what. Now, later in this video, you're going to see us at the sneaker convention and you're going to be thinking, why are these sweatshop shoes so expensive and how did losers like us manage to buy them? Well, lucky for us, we've got Revolut on our side, the all-in-one financial super app designed to simplify your money. Revolut's already used by over 50 million customers worldwide, and you can easily create an account in minutes. We use Revolut to seamlessly access our Australian dollars in the US. Plus, you can get $40 when you download Revolut and make your first purchase. You can check out the link in the description or just scan this QR code here to learn more. Now, we went to LA to go to SneakerCon, and it's tough, It's tough buying and trading shoes with our horrible plastic Australian money. No one wants to look at it. It's just disgusting, right? But Revolut makes all our international purchases seamless with a range of convenient features. Besides, who wouldn't want to spend using these high-quality stainless steel metal cards, They're even customizable, which, you can design right in the Revolut app as soon as you create your account. Or maybe, like everyone else at this expo, you need cash instead. Easy. We used Revolut to withdraw cash and they don't charge any fees up to your plan limit worldwide. Now, Revolut's also got competitive exchange rates and low fees, meaning we don't lose out to all those predatory exchange rates out there when exchanging our dollary dues for USD. And the convenience doesn't just stop there. They've got discounted lounge passes for thousands of airports worldwide and affordable eSIMs you can purchase without even, leaving the Revolut app. It's amazing. So we were able to stay online during our entire trip and track the prices of shoes in real time. Don't forget, you can download Revolut using the link in the description or with this QR code, and you'll get $40 off after your first purchase. Okay, back to the history of shoes. We really wasted a lot of time on shoes over the past 10,000 years. And most of that was just innocent experimentation, right? We tried metal shoes and then wooden shoes for a while, but we ended up just going back to square one and make them all out of leather all over again. But most of this stuff was just foreplay until the big man stepped in. You know him, you love him. It's Samuel Parkinson, and he got rich because he invented butterscotch. And one day, this sex machine here wanted to go on a train ride. Now, he didn't like the fact that his wife had to pack her things in the same kind of bag that all poor people used, which is, embarrassing because all those poor people definitely didn't invent butterscotch. But because he's the special guy who invented butterscotch, and by extension his wife is also special, he commissioned the world's first luxury handbag so she could carry her things on the train and not look like a poor person. Now, this handbag proved that she was a special person. Now, at the time, Samuel didn't realize this, but he pretty much started the $272 billion industry of selling luxury items as modern consumer goods. Now, these have the same utility as any normal item, right? It's essentially a pouch, which we've been making since the dawn of time. But you have the option to pay more for this type of pouch so you can signal to everyone around you that, you're the kind of person who pays more for things. And that's something people want to do. Look, it's not just for signaling that you're a rich person, right? Like it's a little bit more nuanced. Like in economic terms, broadly, it'd be called like niche marketing or commodity fetishism, right? So let's say you have an item that serves a purpose, right? Everyone who wants one already has one, like pretty basic. You can't really make a lot of money off these because it's a kind of cap to your profits. Like it's already saturated. But if you get an identical item, right, and you claim that it has a different aura to the first one, like it's the same, but it I don't know, it's for a specific kind of person and it says something about you when you use it, well then you can sell a lot more of these for a lot more money. Like baby strollers, for example. Baby strollers already exist, right? But you can sell more of them if you claim there's a new one that's like specifically for manly men.
And this is the S1 tactical stroller.
Or pens, everyone already owns a pen, but you can sell more of them if you claim these are special pens for women. Or wine, but it's for gay people. Or water, but it's for dickheads. So we know full well that this stuff already exists, right? But the company can make more money because they've kind of tricked me into thinking that this item was made specifically for me. And that's exactly what these Nike board members are celebrating in this video clip from 1985. They had just signed the biggest sponsorship deal in the history of the NBA with the Air Jordans. Now, this room full of marketing executives somehow convinced black kids that their new shoe was made specifically for them and wearing it was going to, transform them as a person. Now, this pair of shoes looked pretty much identical to the existing Nike Air Force Ones, but I guess they colored it in a bit and they added a little logo of a basketball on it, which, who gives a shit? But apparently, in the NBA codebook, it stated that NBA shoes have to be 51% white, which is, also incredibly boring. But it meant that Michael Jordan had to pay a fine every time he wore them on court, and Nike got to run an advertising campaign focusing on this revolutionary banned shoe.
Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them.
This sounds super tedious, but it gets even sillier. Now, up until this point, rich, established basketball players wore basketball shoes on the court and then designer clothes off the court. But Michael Jordan wore his signature shoes off the court too, showing them off as part of an emerging category of fashion called streetwear. Nike was doing something new here. They weren't really selling a shoe, as you can tell by their cringy tagline. If it was just a shoe, why did they try and ban it? They were selling a new kind of commodity that, says something about the person buying it. It worked, right? Nike essentially kicked off the modern sneaker industry. They got sports shoes, which existed for decades, but they worked out a way to sell millions more of them at a much higher price. Now, originally high fashion was reserved for women and French men, but now you could be a black man in America and as a consumer, you can show off your sense of taste and high status, but do it through this new type of accessible luxury good. And instead of giving your money to some creepy European guy at Gucci, you're giving it to an even creepier American guy at Nike. And that was it. Nike invented a brand new market for shoes. And to meet all this sudden demand, Nike needed a whole lot of slaves. So at the same time, they opened their first sweatshops in Asia. Today, these child slaves are making 16.5 million shoes a day, and these shoes are being shipped across the world to the homes of psychopaths like these guys that you can see on the internet. And they don't even seem to wear the shoes. They just wrap them in plastic like your nonna does with couches, and their job is to tell you to buy more shoes.
You want to know what sneakers to buy here in 2022? Well,
Buy these 8 sneakers. They are just phenomenal.
You can't not have these in your collection, as far as I'm concerned.
There are even sneaker-based shows where celebrities come on and you just watch them buy shoes, and then you get the honor of looking at their receipt. Like, there are even full-blown riots over these sneakers. People are legit murdering each other for shoes. Now, it's gotten so out of hand that even the resale market is up to like $9 billion. That's just used shoes. Like, that's not the original product. It's people selling it again. That's $9 billion. That's so, like, some of these shoes cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's just way too much for a shoe. They should cost like $5 a month, like our Patreon. Then it'll be a really good price. And the shoes should also come with like an exclusive full-length video every month, right? And the shoes should come with Discord access, and then you can talk to us if you buy the shoe. I think that would be a really good financial decision if it was $5 a month, like our Patreon. That's how much a shoe should cost. Yeah, I've lost track of the metaphor, but just go to the Patreon. It's worth it. There's a lot of good stuff there. Anyway, what started out in the 80s with a giant company trying to convince black kids to buy more shoes is now an investment vehicle for rich white people like Miles Nadal. He owns the most expensive sneaker collection in the world, which, I don't know, I guess is pretty hype. It's quite fire, if you ask me. Now, sneakerheads seem to be fine with the fact that their culture is like a corporate constructed, hedge fund managed commodity, but what they don't like is the fact that other companies are trying to cash in on the hype by making counterfeit versions of these commodities. The weird part is these counterfeit shoes are identical, right? They're made in the same sweatshops with the same materials. It's just a different company that gets your money instead of Nike. And it's really not that difficult to make a shoe to the same level of quality as Nike because, it's made by kids and kids are shit at everything.
And 36 seconds into the game, Zion Williamson is down.
He blew through his shoe.
Yeah.
Watch the right foot. Grant Williams plants into his foot, comes right through the laces of his basketball shoe.
They're constantly getting worse because, they don't need to be good. The company doesn't give a shit. The only purpose of these commodities is to make Nike more money. And for some reason, sneakerheads still love them. But look, I'm not part of the culture. Maybe I just don't get it, right? Maybe there's something inherently special about these shoes. So it's time to educate ourselves, right? We decided to fly down to LA to get to the bottom of this fake shoe epidemic. So as soon as we got off the plane, we made our way through the homeless camps to get to the sneaker store, and these shoes are bizarre.
These are hurting my feet a lot.
Yeah. Beauty is pain.
There's ribs inside here. There's ribs inside here.
So here's the plan. We buy a pair of certified fancy sneakers here, and then we take it to the convention, and we claim one of them is fake and the other one is real. And we'll see if these sneaker experts can work out which one's which. Now, if real Nike shoes are actually special, they'd be able to identify that both of these shoes are real. But the only issue now is that if you look at us for like a couple of seconds, you can kind of tell that we pay like rock bottom prices for our sweatshop clothes. So we needed a sneakerhead makeover so we could fit in. And lucky for us, we're friends with the biggest millionaire hype beast in all of LA, Hassan Sneaker Boy Piker.
I made them put on fuckboy fits.
What do we think?
Does anyone actually like this? Everyone's saying no.
Okay, here we were, ready to go in. But we got a little bit nervous about our fake shoe gang as soon as we saw cops detaining someone for possessing these infamous fake shoes.
That's holding a high percentage of things that they're get about 90%.
I didn't realize how serious brand loyalty was here, but whatever, we're at the convention now. And look, I'll be honest, we talked a lot of shit about it, but this convention was actually kind of great. Like, I've never in my life received this many compliments from men. Like, it's fucking awesome.
You're strict.
You like it? And the wholesomeness didn't end there. Somehow they managed to convince kids that cleaning your clothes is cool. Like, this place is my mum's dream.
He's using the stiff bristle brush for the soles. 51 seconds.
How did they manage to glorify cleaning?
Anyone who gets kids to clean shoes, that's a winner.
Keep cleaning. Keep cleaning. Don't worry. Keep cleaning.
But that's not what the convention is actually about. This event is all about buying and selling sneakers. And it's about time we found out what's so special about these shoes.
Yeah, we out here at LA SneakerCon day 1 of day 2.
What's the most expensive shoe you have here? What are those ones like in a plastic case? Are they special?
I got them for $5K right now. LV AF1s, $6K.
It's currently going for like 9.5 thousand.
Holy shit. So there are people walking around here ready to spend $9,500 on a shoe.
Oh yeah, more than that.
Freddy Krueger is like 25,000, Paris like 50,000, Mags 25 to 35,000.
What makes them worth more than like this one for 190?
Demand. People want them.
People just want them.
People just want them.
So that one's like a rare size. So the demand is up on it and the quantity is limited.
It's all supply and demand, you know. If nobody wanted it, it wouldn't be worth that much.
What makes it worth more than the other ones?
It's so limited. PJ Tucker. The only way to get it, you have to enter like some raffle on this website. So exclusivity.
So it turns out in order to create exclusivity, the company will simulate scarcity, right? They'll only release like a limited number of a specific style of shoe. And then, you know, even if you're holding onto like a ratty decade-old shoe that's been like worn so much that it's turned yellow, the price will just keep going up because it has exclusivity.
Those ones over there, they're just harder to find. It has a little bit of yellowing on the bottom just because of the time that it's been. So it oxidizes over time, but people are still willing to pay like the good money because it's, like I said, a shoe that released a while ago. So
even though they're used, they still go up, you know?
It doesn't matter how old or uncomfortable the shoe is, all the things that objectively make a good shoe are irrelevant. Right. In fact, the logic is so skewed here that wearing a normal, comfortable shoe can somehow be embarrassing. What are you wearing right now? What are you on?
Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing, but for the events, I always keep it comfortable with some New Balance or Asics.
Why is that embarrassing?
Because, you know, sometimes I get called out for having all this heat and not wearing anything, but...
Oh my God, how mean can they get? What do they do?
Yeah, I've heard some nasty stuff, man, but I've heard worse, you know, so I could take it, but...
Man, people are serious about shoes here.
It's life or death for some people, you'd be surprised.
Now, aside from the artificial scarcity, the other big selling point for shoes is collabs, right? Like just like the original Air Jordans, the company needs big names to sell their shoes.
The Travis Scotts.
What makes them more expensive?
Travis Sport.
Oh yeah. What makes it worth more than the other shoes?
It's a collab. It was a little harder to get. Bro's wearing Trav. Bro gets it. Bro.
Now, these collabs don't just stop at like rappers and athletes. Like the company is always chasing like bigger and better names. Like they've even managed to collab with the original sandalhead Jesus Christ.
The Mischief Jesus Walk on Water. They actually had the holy water from the River Jordan in there. Super cool story.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and they did like a collab. I got the Jesus one.
It's just such an ambitious marketing gimmick. Like think about it. Right now in the Holy Land, Israel is cutting off water to Gaza, but somehow Nike is in there collecting water to put in these shoes. And now each shoe is selling for like thousands of dollars. But I guess that's irrelevant. What we really want to know about is fake shoes. Do you know of anyone selling fake shoes around here?
no, I hope they're not selling fake shoes, man. That would suck.
Do you know if anyone's selling fake shoes around here? Are you able to clock when someone's got fake shoes?
I can always give an opinion, but for doing this for a couple of years, you can just kind of spot, you know, when material's off.
How can you tell usually? Like
normally, when you do it for a long time, you can start spotting like inconsistencies with the shoes.
If I'm not sure, I will tell you right off the bat. Like I'm not sure. Like I have never legit checked this type of shoe before, so I will tell you straight up. Like no, like unfortunately I can't.
We've got a tricky game if you want to play it. We've got two shoes. One of them's fake, one of them's real. I was wondering if you could spot the fake and spot the real one. Okay.
Fake real.
You got it. Fuck yeah. Good work. You're a professional.
Yeah. You do it for a while, you know, to look for it.
Fuck yeah. How could you tell?
For one, I thought the toe box looked a little too wide.
Right.
The weight of it is much lighter. I can tell immediately just holding it.
If you look at the shoe, it's really the same, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it came down to, like I said, like I had to really look at the size tag to make sure. It's just a little bit different fonting. You can kind of tell on that.
But if you look at it, it just looks
Like it's more, the shape of it is more defined.
You just tell the color. This one's a little like yellowish versus this one's full white.
Yeah.
What are you looking for when you smell it? You see a
The-
lot
the
of people.
glue.
Oh, you smell the glue.
Yeah, like it has like a different scent. Like you, after a while, you can smell the difference between the glue.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, like watching these shoe aficionados struggle to make up random differences between, an identical pair of shoes. But the more I spoke to them, the less goofy they seemed. Like when you ask them serious questions like, where are the shoes made? They seem to know all about like the supply chain. They do know that they're getting scammed. Like they seem to know that there isn't really a difference between these shoes. Where are they made?
I think China, if I'm correct. Yeah, overseas. So
Most of them come from China. That's where a lot of fake pairs come from, but real pairs are made too.
Where are they usually made? Like
China.
are the real ones as well, or?
Same shit.
Yeah.
what I tell people, don't get fooled by the material because a lot of the factory and like the quality now is really crappy. So even though it can look like it was a crappy material, it could be fake, that could be the real one because of the material and the quality control they have now. So which is
The quality's gone down on the real ones as well?
ton on every shoe. Just in general, most of the shoes have like glue stains or like, as you can tell, like right here, like the stitching on behind, it's really like, it's just really bad.
It's actually much more complicated than I initially thought. Like I assumed everyone was just brainwashed by these companies, but it turns out they might be more cynical than I gave them credit for. They seem to know it's a scam, but every one of these consumers seems to be in a race of like buying and selling, trying to out-scam the other consumers. Where do they make them?
Where do they make them?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't know. I don't know where they make them. I just buy them.
Now, they don't actually seem to care about like streetwear specifically. Like they primarily care about supply and demand. Like there's not a lot of people out there that still think, buying these shoes will make you cool like Michael Jordan, right? Like now they think that buying these shoes will make you rich like Nike. So the reason they're disgusted by fake shoes is that fake shoes don't align with their economic interests, right? If you're investing in and selling sneakers, a fake shoe's it's not like a verifiable commodity that will make you rich. And it's also not an accessory that will communicate to other people that you're rich. And that's what really matters here. Like they know the sneakers they're buying are actually shit, but these consumers, they've kind of convinced themselves that they're in on it, right? They think they're somehow on Nike's side and they're playing the market and they're getting rich off of everyone else. But in order to get into the game, you would have had to buy sneakers off of someone who also thinks they're in on it, which, it's a definition of a pyramid scheme, right? And on the very, very bottom of the pyramid are just like a bunch of kids who are forced to glue shoes together for 12 hours a day. And to them, it doesn't really matter if it's fake or real. Like they're getting fucked either way.